Boy, buckle up. This episode I just got done recording, and it is all over the place. We're going to talk about millennials thinking about suicide. All right, hang in there with me. We're going to talk about girl farting in the elevator and how we would react. We're going to talk about a little bit of emotions. Women, you might want to listen. I can help you. I can help you with that communication towards your caveman of a husband. Nope. I'm not throwing hate to the husbands. Listen, I've been a caveman too. I get it. There's nothing wrong with it. It's a happy life. But women, you got to understand how our brains work. All right. So hang in there. Listen to that. And I don't even know what else we talked about. And for the record, this is very unedited. A lot of times I don't even go back and listen. So you'll hear some clap-ins. You'll hear me talking. That's just what this podcast is. And I actually talked about this podcast, what it'll always be. It'll always be this. If I want to do something more polished, if I want to have different conversations with people, then I'll have a different platform off of this. But this will always be Jeff's thoughts, Jeff's opinions, just something easy for everyone to listen to. Uncurated, blah, blah, blah. I'm just myself talking in a microphone. So listen to the episode. I think it's pretty good, but I'm biased. I'm a little biased. All right, no intro music. Here we go. All right, partner. Keep on rolling, baby. You know what time it is. I got some sort of echo in my mic, and it makes that just sounded awesome in my ears, in my headphones. I don't know how it sounds in real life, but for some reason we got a buzzing sound that I've been dealing with. It just magically went away, so we're going to roll with it. Tuesday morning. I thought yesterday was Tuesday. Even my son, he's like, no, I've been to school Monday, Tuesday. I'm like, yeah, I think so. But then I'm like, damn, because they go to their moms on Wednesday. I was like, damn. It's like, we only got one more day with you boys. And then we were looking at the calendar, looking at the lunch menu. I'm like, bro, today's Monday. He's like, no, it's not. I'm like, yes, it is. So today is indeed Tuesday. Start off with a couple little sweet treats from New Era. Get the brain flowing here, baby. Get the brain flowing. I got a topic I want to talk about today. Boy, suicide. Suicide is always talked of, almost like a lot of things in life these days. It's talked about not very openly, not normally. It's got this like tone that you have to talk about suicide about. And I feel like when we talk about things in that tone, it doesn't quite hit home the way it should. And just like talking to my kids, I like to talk about everything pretty normal. That way it doesn't become any sort of like stigma or, any like, I don't know, things we were shielded from in our generation. It seems like that's the thing that we don't really learn about because it's shielded. So, like, honestly, just, like, start talking about things like they're normal because they are normal. But literally, that's such a white girl. Literally. And, damn it, Jeff. But suicide is something that I want to talk about very openly, especially if this is a younger audience. And now, honestly, this is the episode where I should have my camera going for some social clips, but I just didn't feel like doing it all today. I just wanted to sit down and talk. So if anyone in the younger generation is listening to this, I think it's very important for you guys to know that the generation ahead of you have had, if you're having those suicidal thoughts or thinking that it is going to be easier without you, because I think there is a difference between suicidal thoughts and not wanting to go on anymore. Because I've been in I don't want to go on anymore. I don't care. Either it was like self-induced, whether it's something I did stupid and dealt with a lot of like regret, or if it was like depression and it didn't have to make sense. Nothing went wrong. Nothing actually happened. It's just a feeling I have. Please know that a lot of us in the generation ahead of you have dealt with this, even to the extent of writing some letters and being in the exact position and everything's ready to go, and somehow something happened that changed our mind. I can never say I was. That's why I say I'm not suicidal. I never wanted to end my own. I knew I was never going to end my life. But it was like a very strong desire to be like, what if? Like, and I think it comes out of a place, and this may sound brash, and I'm not saying this is everyone's experience with these thoughts, but a lot of it is just like, I'll show you. Like, it's more of a like, hey, you want to act like this? I'll show you. And how validating that is. And I just need to say, like, that is a normal thought. And you got to ask yourself why. Like, why am I thinking almost to the effect of, hey, I'll show you. Like, you'll feel bad. You'll feel bad. So that's almost a projection onto someone else for feelings that you don't know what it is. So if you're feeling that way, you kind of need to dig deep in yourself to figure out why do I feel this way? Like, why am I mad at this person at my core? Not what they did, but why does that upset me? And I think that's what gets completely lost is people, it's all projection. Well, they. And it's just like, yes, you are mad at them. That's okay. But why does that make you upset? You know what I mean? It goes so much deeper than what you're saying. But back to the suicide talk. Just please know that a lot of us have been there from high school on. We've all thought about it, and I think it's just okay to start saying, "Yeah, brother, we've done this too. Like, it's okay. Like, you will get through this." But I can say for me, and I think I could speak for most of us, that have had those thoughts and did not go through, we are very fucking glad that we did not. We are extremely glad that we don't go through because of what we've got to experience in the past and what we've got to experience since then, I should say. And just know that's for real. And I think that's where being vulnerable and real with people are, because yes, they're going to listen to the fact that, oh my gosh, they have had these thoughts, but they're also going to listen to the, hey, it's all right. Like, this is okay. It's going to get better, especially for the younger. I don't know I think like Gen Z is behind us, but I don't know the rest. As a millennial myself, I don't really know all the generational code names, but I think it's just so important to is the weirdest thing is just to normalize talking about suicide. Like, think about it, like our papers, like newspapers and news articles on Facebook very, very, very rarely say things about suicide. If someone passes away from suicide, they don't put it in the newspaper. So it makes it this crazy thing, kind of like, I know for my childhood, like a lot like my childhood and just the era we were in, it seemed like some households, if there was something on TV that was getting too sexual or something inappropriate, it had to be like this big thing. Like, oh, shut it off. And then it was like, oh, as a kid, that's something I'm not supposed to see. So what do kids do? They create this dopamine hit. So when they get old enough and they can go find their first, inappropriate video to watch or inappropriate magazine, it hits that there's like a subconscious jolt of dopamine that they're going to get that was grown in that moment of they're being told they can't do something. And that is just like no fault of anyone. That is just how the human brain works. So honestly, talking about anything anymore is pretty important to me, to talk about normal with my kids. I'm not going to shield their eyes. There was a picture, it was an old Victorian picture at some restaurant we went and ate at, and the ladies' tatas were out. And my oldest saw it. He was 10. And I looked over at him. I was like, how long did it take you to spot that? And he just started laughing. Like, yes, I normalized boobs for my son. They were not in a sexual manner. They were just boobs out. And I just made it normal. Like, bro, we don't have to make it this thing. They're just boobs. Yes, we like them. My God. I'd be lying if we said we didn't. Like, but it's just like normalizing it. It's a body part. Like, let's not make this strange. But at the same restaurant, to caveat onto that story, I went to the bathroom. So it's like a typical Midwest bar and grill, right? Like, I forgot what it was called. Wanda's Little Vegas, I believe. Sundays we'll just drive like an hour and just visit somewhere different. Like, if you go to my TikTok, this is not it is self-promotion. That's literally the point of this. Quit. What is that called? Quit. I forgot what it's called. I'm an idiot. But anyways, we used to go to TikTok _late_1900s. It's just kind of my dumping grounds of just what I think is funny. It doesn't necessarily mean that it is, but art is in the eye of the beholders. But so we went to this lady's restaurant, bar and grill, middle of nowhere, across from a grain elevator. From the Midwest, you know what this looks like. Super nice place. Wonderful looking bar stools. If I was still a drinker, I could fall asleep on that bar stool, wake up and start all over again. Love a good bar stool. And this place was awesome. Like, it was exactly what you'd expect. One gal working behind the bar. Looks like she's worked their entire life, and it's just her. Everyone knows her. She's a sweetheart. Blah, blah, blah. Here's all the town's tea, baby, if you know what I mean. So anyways, that's where it's at. So we got sat down, and my oldest son saw the boobies, and I'm like, okay, whatever. So I went to the bathroom, and what was in my face was straight out of, like, a typical 1992 kid using the bathroom, but times 1,000. Like, this is bathroom stuff that I've never seen as a grown man. They're right in front of the urinal. There is a poster, and I'm guessing about, you could probably Google this if you don't care about your Google history, but it was like 13 women, and this is like it had to be late 80s, early 90s, just because of the bikini styles and the hair, like I can just tell. But there was no less than 13, 14, 15 gals in this picture, sopping ass wet. I think they were on the beach, your typical 90s like swimsuit cover. But there were some of them that were not only completely naked, but it's like I don't even know how to describe this on a podcast and I get canceled. You know how you walk through saloon doors and they swing all the way open, or they're swung all the way shut, closed? It was like probably 8 of them models. Their saloon doors were spread wide open, and they were inviting everyone to the back bar, if you know what I mean. It was jarring. It was jarring. This is someone that like does not. I don't do the locker talk. I don't do the. That is such a cheap way for a man to live, you ask me. Like, I've been there. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, oh, dude, I have been there, and the normalcy of it, the way it's pushed on us. Now we're getting bad choice of words. Okay, I meant we are getting off subject, but I'm going to keep rolling with it because this is something that I think is super important to talk about. All right, sorry, I had to go back and listen a little bit, but we're talking about like normalcy. What is normal, talking about suicides, and I'm like talking to you guys like you're not following along, but I actually is the ones that's trying to catch up. But it's making everything normal. Quit making everything a stigma. So like back to this back to the restaurant stuff like that was so normal back then. Like everything, like you go back and watch even it's interesting now. I'm 37, just put this in context. Go back and watch almost any episode of Home Improvement. Some of the older, God, what was the other one we were watching? And we're like, whoa, like anything, even Saved by the Bell, like all those shows, like there was so much sex in the 90s. Every movie a boy watched started with Mallrats, I think. Mallrats was the first one. And I don't think it was VHS. It was DVD, and I remember I had DVD, PlayStation in my room, and I remember watching it, and then you see the girl's boobs in the changing room, and just like how many times I would pause and look at that. Like that was so cool because it was supposed to be such a bad thing, right? If you got in trouble for it, you got in trouble. So then all of a sudden, like in your older years, you're like, oh, this is the forbidden fruit. It is so attractive. And it's just like our whole generation never opened up about anything, not about suicide. We're just like, oh, that's wrong. Nope. That's wrong. It's like, no, as millennials, we now know, like, hey, we've been through this. Like I tell my 19-year-old, I say, dude, there's nothing that you're dealing with that I'm not facing now or haven't faced in the past. Like, bring your burdens to me, young Josephiah. His name's not Josephiah. But it's like, yeah, make things normal. Can we just talk about things? Now, the poster in the bathroom, going all the way back, I am very glad that I went in there first. Because if he would have went in first, like that's a big moment in his life. Like I can picture myself as a kid seeing that. And, you know, I don't know what all a 10-year-old looks at online as far as I can look at. You know what I mean? Like I understand how this works when you go to a buddy's house that their parents may not look as, you know what I mean? Like I don't know what he's seen. I don't know what he knows. But I would think at this age that is not the way I would like him to be introduced to anyone's unmentionable area, right? Like, okay, boobs, whatever. But like, you know, when he has questions or he's talked in the past, I call it a penis and I call it a vagina, and I'm extremely just normal about it. It's not this, it doesn't have to be this weird thing. Like just talk normal about things. Like say what they're called. Like this doesn't have to be an awkward thing anymore. So just being open with everyone and telling this next generation, it's like, hey, like, yeah, dude, we've dealt with this. Hey, we've been flat broke before. We have been scorned by our parents before. It's okay to feel this. Like, let me help you with this. Let me get you through this. Instead of, you know, I think the millennial generation was in the dark over a lot of things. Like, I don't think, at least from my experience and a lot of people that I know my age, like, and it's no fault of anyone's. It's literally how the world was. You can't change that. No one understood the impact that it was going to have on us because they didn't experience it. So I'm not saying this to point fingers at anyone. I'm just saying, like, how awesome now that we know these things and we can sit our kids down and be like, hey, yeah, me too. Like, this was the same shit that I dealt with. I would love that. I actually text my 19-year-old this week. He's in a cool spot. He's in a really cool spot in life because this is his first job outside of school and it's his first time having coworkers. So I haven't really thought about that until the other night. I sat down and I was like, Sarah, he is in the absolute best years of his life. Because I thought back to 19 to, I'd say like 22. I'd say 18 to 22. Mine started pretty early. I started really having fun. Like, I would say pretty much my whole life I've been having fun. But I didn't know, it's like that office quote. Don't you wish there was a way to let you know you're in the best of times when you're in them? Or, you know what I mean? And I just text him. I'm like, from now till 29 should be the absolute best years of your life. Like, right now you're in them. Like, you're experiencing new friends outside of school or sports. Like, you're going out with coworkers that you just met and you're learning that, like, there's a whole nother branch of people out there that will serve you so well in life. So I just get excited for him. And I just like, it's nice that I'm hoping this generation is more encouraging to the Gen Z behind us. Most of us are raising that generation below us that you're making fun of. So it's kind of our responsibility. So Gen Z, if you happen to be locked into this old man's podcast, if you happen to be listening, we have to stay united. We have to. Love the boomers. By God, they're just great, but get the F out of our way. It's a whole different life, I think, from millennial down. And this is the same thing that our parents probably told our grandparents, right? I'm not naive to the fact that this is literally evolution of humanity. But again, let's just like talk about things. Let people know when we struggle. Let people know when we have those bad thoughts. And we are a living example of how we all beat depression in a different way. And that's how we should look at life, other than like, oh, they're depressed, they're sad. It's like, you were that age once. Put yourself in back in those shoes for a second. When people say walk a mile in my shoes, we have literally walked thousands of miles in our kids' shoes already. Like, we kind of know what they're going to go through. We don't have to put ourselves in their shoes. We've been there, and we should be telling them like, hey, yeah, I've been through this. If you're not your kid's biggest fucking cheerleader, then I don't know what you're doing, because it is the most rewarding thing to think back of where I was at in life at a certain kid's age and just embrace that. Like, I know what you're feeling. Like, I was there. So yeah, all the way from wanting to talk about suicide to sex and movies, and like, no wonder this whole world is a sex-driven freaking, it's madness. It's madness what my generation grew up on, and you can almost empathize with a lot of the struggles those guys are dealing with, and there's no excuse for anything. There's no excuse for a lot of things that guys do at all. Like, there's things I can't fathom doing, and I can't even say at the same time because that sounds bad, so I just hope you empathize with me a little bit and know that I'm not trying to be rude. But there's things that guys do sometimes to where you can almost, if you could see the way we were wired as kids when it came to that stuff, it would show just a little bit of like I don't think women could ever fathom that, or it's not something that they would necessarily understand, just like we don't understand a lot of the feelings women have. But I will say, like, anyone my age that struggles with any sort of sexual content, blah, 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 whatever they love, whatever, they got to think back as a kid of why is that so exciting to me? It's not just because I'm excited by it. It's because why? What was the first time I got caught? What was the first time I saw it? Was it super exciting? Yeah, no shit. No wonder we loved it for the rest of our life. So we have all been, we've all been pretty much programmed, my age group. Like, sex was just like openly talked about, and movies and a lot of content. But I love where the generation's going behind us. I see a lot better kids coming and growing up. I've like I said, 37. I raised my oldest. He's 19 now, and then my boys all the way down to 4. But I feel like I've seen such a wide group through coaching and being around my oldest son's buddies. I've seen a wide group of young men coming up, and I have so much hope for the next future. I have so much hope for the next generation. And the only thing that's going to make them better is if like the millennial in us decides to finally freaking talk about things, which I think we are, but it's nice that the millennials are finally talking about things and making life somewhat normal or understanding for them, just to know that, hey, your dad struggled with this same stuff. Like, it's okay. Like, you'll get through. I can tell you exactly where you're going to be in a couple of years. So, no, just, I love it. I really enjoy, if I could pick any job, if I could magically get this fucking degree and be what I'm set out to be, but to be like a child psychologist it'd be the most interesting thing in the world. It interests me so much. It's like the development of children. Like, it's something that I'm super passionate about, but I don't know where to put that passion right now. Like, I'm at a weird crossroad where I don't know. I don't know. I'm doing, whatever. Anyways. Well, that was good. Let's move on for a second. Let's take a little break. Let's take a little breather, and I'll get back with you. Actually, I just got to regroup my thoughts because I'm at that point now to where I'm just like, I have no clue what I'm thinking. Oh gosh, I always think about like, I should put music to these. I'm just like, dude, it's not a podcast. What I do want to do, actually today I need to make a note. Sleep cover. I want to make so going to sleep for me sucks. And I was thinking like, man, I just need to find someone to ramble about shit. And I was like, oh man, just so happens I'm in the business of rambling about stuff. So I do want to get on my YouTube channel and make a sleep playlist that is just, it's like 2 hours of black screen, but then like the first, however long the podcast is, just play the podcast. And then it's just like, yeah, it's a black screen because I hate the screen. But then if you monetize it, you still get the ads. That's why YouTube sucks for sleeping. But I don't know. There's got to be a way around that. Like if I demonetize it, I'll look into that. Sleep cover ads is what I need to write in my notes because I will forget. Let's do a little, but I always think like, I'm not going to overproduce this. Like this is just, if I want a podcast, that's an actual podcast, I'll start another one and then just still use this one. So basically this podcast is always going to be like my mothership. It's always going to be if I want to brain dump, if I have a specific item I want to talk about, if I'm just talking about my life, like that is what this will always be. You ain't going to catch no producing. You maybe get a little bit better here and there, just spice it up a bit. But for the most part, you're just going to get my dumping grounds. If I have a project I want to work on, if I want to do interviews outside of either me or Sarah, I will have another podcast for that. So this is forever going to be like my Instagram or my TikTok where it's like, no, this is my Snapchat. This is where I just dump the dumb stories, don't care, don't know half you, whatever. And then the other ones may be more structured like a Facebook, which I don't have. And if you still have Facebook in this day and age, oh my God, do yourself a favor and deactivate it. You don't have to delete it. Get off. I have to get back on my business page at some point, and I am dreading it because I'm going to have to log back into my personal page, and I don't even want to see it. I don't care. All your pictures, get on a website and find a way to copy your URL, paste it on that website, and it'll pull all your pictures up. You know what? China already has them, so who gives a shit? Israel already has your pictures. Who gives a shit? Upload it, get them all printed off, and deactivate that son of a bitch. I am telling you, you have to. However social media makes you feel when you open it, feel that feeling. Does your stomach hurt? Do you get nervous? Do you get excited? And just figure out why and get rid of it. If it makes you nervous, get rid of it. It's dumb. So anyways, dumping grounds, yes. Tangent time, yes. Check. Let's do a little bit of Am I the Asshole? I've not read this. I just pulled it up. And what I'm going to work on today, and I wish I wouldn't have thought about it because now I'm going to be in my head about it, but I was listening to the last episode because I do listen to my episodes because I don't always remember what I say, which is not good to put out there in the public. So, again, I don't care. But listening to myself read and listening to myself talk about not being able to read really sounded like shit. And part of me is like, dude, you have to delete this episode. I'm like, no, I don't care. If you don't care, you can't care. All right? Like, so that's why I keep telling myself, like, it doesn't matter. Like, we all think we have to sound the same. We all think that podcasting has to sound like XYZ. And we're all programmed to think, oh, I have to act like this on video. Don't. Just act however you act. Like, we don't all have to be the same. We don't all have to agree on things. I am so confused by all this. I saw an ad today from Amazon that had Kris Kardashian doing some stupid, and I'm like, what are we doing? Do they know that we don't give a single shit about celebrities right now? Or am I the only one? Am I the only one that does not care about celebrity endorsed anything? I don't care. It may be a product I like, and I'll still buy that product. Like, I'm not saying, oh, I'm not going to buy it because so-and-so. I don't care. Like, why do people still think celebrities, just burn it to the ground? Burn it to the ground already. This is bullshit, Tina. Am I the asshole? So I'm going to try to read this like I have at least one brain cell in my brain. But again, maybe that's self-deprecation. Maybe you guys think it sounded okay, or like understood that, oh, this guy just isn't that smart, but he's okay. He's doing a fine job. Either way, I'm still just going to read it the way I read. I don't need to be anything. Damn it, Jeff. Damn it, Bobby. Am I the asshole for blaming my boyfriend when I farted in the elevator? Okay, so here it goes. I am 26, female, and my partner is 31, male. All right, if you're a female, put yourself back at 26. Where are you living? What are you feeling? What do you like? Blah, blah, blah. Males, 31. We're going back to 31. Okay, 31. Gotcha. That's where I'm at. That's how I'm going to view this story, is through my 31-year-old self. And then I'm going to view it through my 37-year-old self. Ooh, okay. All right, Jeff, cool. We're here on vacation with my friends, and my partner tagged along with us. We booked an overnight stay at a hotel. Everything was going smoothly until the group decided to take a walk and eat on a nearby restaurant. Yeah, it says on a nearby restaurant. Cool. So we entered the elevator. As we were going down, I farted really bad, and I blamed my partner for not taking a toilet before headed out. I don't know where this is from, but it doesn't sound like it's from the U.S., which is great. Makes it a great story. So I got to go back and recap. Okay, so they're with friends in the elevator. Homegirl, author, farted. Supposedly, it's okay for me to fart in front of my friends since, well, they're my friends, end quote. But it was so viciously bad, and I don't want to get embarrassed. And it's not all written right. And I know. Could be me too. So at first, my partner ride along with it, apologizing to the... Oh, okay, so it's like her word ride is like go along with it. So at first, my partner went along with it, apologizing to the group, in which they just laughed it off. However, Fartgate, after we ate some food, we went back to our room privately. He stormed off. He would rage at me for being so disrespectful. I totally agree with him at the point and was constantly apologizing to him the entire time during his rage session. But the thing he said that really pricked me off was that he got embarrassed, specifically on my friend. This is written a little different. He got embarrassed specifically, I'm going to say he got embarrassed in front of his friend. He would highlight the fact that she complimented his shirt, and now he got this reputation of having no manners or something. Am I the asshole for feeling this way? Oh, apologize for my bad English. Edit. There was also 2 other people riding the elevator besides our group. I don't know what came over me because I was so flustered at the first thing I did was shift the blame to my boyfriend, which I get is an asshole move. I just didn't understand the amount of rage he showed me. I think he got embarrassed. That's why he got angry, but I don't think it justifies things he said. I hope this will be something we could laugh about in the future. Okay, love that edit. But I do want to go back and see. I did get embarrassed. That's why he got angry, but it doesn't justify the things he said. I want to go back. I don't quite remember what was said, to tell you the truth. So that he said he got embarrassed specifically on my friend. So sounds like, okay, where's that big emotion come from there, Mr. Partner? So I think 31-year-old male, the boyfriend, I think he has an attraction to her friend in the elevator that she farted in but blamed him. So he got embarrassed by the friend that he likes. He is projecting to his girlfriend because he said that embarrassed on my friend. So if I'm getting this right, homegirl farted, blamed it on the boy, her boyfriend, and I think the fight ensued because he was embarrassed in front of... He was either just embarrassed in front of his friends or he liked this girl and was embarrassed by her. Either way, so typically when I see a freak out, when I see someone like uncontrollably freaking out, the only thing that goes through my mind is, dude, what happened to this person? Like, because I have a unique stance. I was that person. And that's what's interesting. It's because I was like confrontational, solve this. Oh, let's yell at them. Let's just make sure we're dominant. So figuring out where that came from for myself, I read people different now. Like when the last job I had, not going to go too deep into it, but as like my day, I essentially quit, the specific boss that was dealing with that. Oh, there's so much I want to say about this, but I'm not going to. Anyways, it's just like when anyone's yelling at you, to just sit there and be like, what is wrong with you? Like, in what world? Where did you learn this? Why are you doing this? Like, who hurt you? Who hurt you? So it becomes kind of comical once you understand people and you are very interested in why they act a certain way. Not so much like, why are they doing this? But it's like, no. Like, why are they doing it? Like, what is causing this? It's kind of interesting. And honestly, the best thing it's done for me is to find grace, to give grace to people. So I'm like, listen, I'm not going to argue with you because you got some serious issues. Like, I know I can't fix that for you, but then it's great because you don't really take their words to heart. You know, it's just like kind of them projecting back at you for something they don't feel good with. So back to the elevator, I think he was embarrassed. So he maybe like the best thing he could I gotta slow down, I get too excited. The best thing I think he could like soul search for was to be like, why am I embarrassed? Why did that embarrass me so much? And why did it cause me to react that way? For a girl to fart and blame it on you, like, I think as a male, like I do believe in certain gender roles, and I think accepting blame for a fart is a normal, I think that's a normal ask. I don't think anyone should really be offended by that, but it's okay if you are, just figure out why. Like, why does that offend you? Oh, it's deeper than just what's happening. It's way deeper than what's happening. If something makes you mad, you have to figure out not why that action made you mad, but why it makes your insides feel mad. Like, what does that trigger? And people talk about life hacks all the time. Like, oh, this is a life hack on how to keep bread fresh. Why don't we start talking about life hacks that actually impact your life? Idea? Anyone? Okay, yeah, let's do that. As far as her, I mean, honestly, she's the only thing she could have said as soon as they got back to the room or away from people, if she could have stopped, I think maybe all he needed in that time was a sincere, like, hey, like, no matter what happened, a fart or fucking anything, like the fact that it was pushed on someone unwillingly, like that, yeah, that's not cool. So I would say, yeah, if she could have just said like, oh God, I am so sorry. Women, God, here's how you do it. My God, men are so easy. And you guys seem to think that we think like you, and we absolutely do not, but it's so much easier. So women, come in close, and just listen. In this moment, let's use her as an example. I'm hungry. Stomach's grumbling. Once you get back to the room, if you know something upset him, okay, don't just say, oh, he's so sensitive. No, figure out why. Figure out why that upset. It's not something you did. It's something that hurts him. So ask yourself, why did I say, oh my God, I think I embarrassed him. Okay. So as soon as you're alone, all you had to do, if you come in the door and you just like, I'm picturing like you stand in front of him, you're looking up at him, and you just like grab his shoulders, be like, babe, I am so sorry, I didn't know what to do. And like kind of make it a joke, but being sincere. We don't need to have these conversations that are like super deep. Most men do not need to have those conversations that are super deep. They just need someone to be like, oh my God, I'm so stupid. Like, I'm so sorry. Like, it was just like, make it funny. It's not a real apology. Like, of course you don't feel bad for farting and blaming it on him. Like, no, you don't. That's dumb. But in his mind, you got to understand, like, how he views it. So, yes, you're not really apologizing, but you're acknowledging that he has a problem with this. You're acknowledging that he doesn't seem crazy because he has a problem with this. Because I think it is valid for him to have a problem with that. This is actually something, she blamed something on him he didn't do. No one can do that. Like, let's think on a big scale, not farting in the elevator. Of course, that's silly. It doesn't matter. We all know. Check the boxes. But let's think on a bigger scale. So that made him feel very uncomfortable. So honestly, women, if you just go to your man and you just say, or go to your woman, whatever you're doing over there, just be like, I am so sorry. Like, please forgive me. Like, make it dramatic. Just acknowledge it. Acknowledge that it hurt him and say, yeah, it hurt you. I understand. And on different scales, you're going to have different reactions. Like, yes, this is farting in an elevator. This is not, you don't have to get on your knees and bow to your man and beg for forgiveness. That's not what I'm saying. This is something silly that can be resolved with just like a silly response, right? So I'd say, like, whatever the crime was, the punishment needs to meet the crime. So this one, yeah, just be kind of silly and be like, dude, I'm sorry to put that on you. Like, I know that hurt your feelings. Like, I will not blame any more farts on you. And it's done. I guarantee you. And if it's not done, then you run. If it's not done, you run. Like, don't think that people are going to change their reactions. However they react to will be more than likely how they're going to react the rest of their life. So, yes, give everyone the grace, give everyone the thing, but you don't have to do it all the time. You're not the peacemaker. We are peacekeepers. We don't make peace. We just keep peace. It's all good, man. It's all good. So talk to your man normal. Please validate that dude's feelings. Whatever you think he's feeling is not what he's feeling. Whatever you think he should be feeling is not what he's feeling. I can guarantee you. I always say I could be a woman whisperer. After my divorce, I had so many people reaching out for like advice with baby dads. Advice for this, advice for that. And I'm just like, I got to start charging. For this. And the scariest part that I saw was a handful of them. I can name 2 right off the bat that I won't name. But they hated my answers because women often hate logical answers because it's based off their feelings, not off facts. I'm always pro-woman. I'm always like, that guy's an ass. He's like, guys are dumbasses. Guys don't know any different. We're dumb. We're cavemen. A lot of guys never evolved out of being caveman mode, and that's okay. They can grow, but they ain't going to grow with you fucking chewing their necks off over everything. I can guarantee you that. There's one faster way to not have success is if you have a caveman and you complicate anything, we put our fire out, we're gone. You just have to treat them very simple, and it keeps them very happy. My God, have a drink ready for them when they get home. I'm not saying that to be like, oh, you serve your husband. No, that's disgusting. That's stupid. We don't serve each other. If you're scratching his back, you watch that man. You watch that man. You will get your return on investment, and that's what it is. It is not 50-50. It is 100 and 100 and giving grace and learning that, dude, there are no roles. We're just making this life work. If you like this, that's what I'm doing for you. If you like that, that's what I'm doing for you. Let's talk about it at the end of the day, or at least once a week. Sit down and just say, hey, this is how I feel about this. This is not me accusing you of anything. This is just saying how I feel about it. Let's talk about it. I always got caught up in the feelings were blaming. Oh, I feel like you don't XYZ. And I was like, oh, I do all those things. I've always done those things. Feelings are not factual. You can listen to someone's feelings and it doesn't have to be facts. Then it's your job to dispute those feelings. I never knew that. I never learned that until the last couple of years. Like, yeah. Anyways. So yeah, elevator girl. And at 31, okay, so at 31, how I reacted, probably the exact same way he did. Honestly, the exact same way. I probably would have, in the moment, and a lot of factors. I'm going to say I'm a little buzzed. We kind of went out, had some drinks. We weren't all sloppy or anything. I'm probably going to laugh about it. No, if I'm buzzed, I don't give a shit. Could care less. It will not make it back to the room. I don't care. It's dropped right after that. I laugh about it. I will tell them it was me, whatever. 37. Oh, and then if we got back to the room and I was 31, drunk, drinking, don't care. Doesn't care. It's already left. sober and with friends in the elevator, don't think I care at 31. I'd probably make a joke. I would honestly be like, that was not me. Now, drunk me, oh, I'm taking that one. I'm like, no, we are almost back to the room. I ain't rocking the boat. Yep, that's me. I had a bunch of beans for lunch. That was me. Yep, whatever to keep the peace. So 37 on the elevator. No, I'm eating it like a gentleman. Yeah, it's me. That's me. We say goodbye to our friends. We get back to the room, and I'll look her dead in her eyes and say, remember that time you farted and blamed it on me? And we would laugh, and that would be it. Like, that's a silly thing. And I'm not a big guy. I'm not a big fan of girl farts. Okay, I'm getting better, but I never have been at something. And trust me, I know where this comes from. I've already thought it out, but it's something I'm working on. But also, on the same token, I don't let them go all the time either, because I am a gentleman, and I don't think people need to always smell farts. All right? Okay. But yeah. 37-year-old, I don't care. That would not affect me once. In fact, it would just, for me, it'd be like, this is something we are going to laugh about later. And it just cracks me up sometimes to hear a fart that someone it's just funny. Farts are funny. An old saying in our family, there's nothing funnier than a fart. I remember being very sick. I got sick as a kid. My temperatures would spike, man. It was weird. But I remember farting when I was sick, and my dad was a great nurse. He was, anytime you're sick, Dad was really good at being a nurse. Cold rag on the head, singing Crooked Man, getting you medicine, night shift, day shift. Dad was a great nurse when we were sick. But I remember farting and Dad saying, nothing funnier than a fart, like as he's wiping my head with a cold rag, like, oh, Nurse Dale, gosh bless you. So yeah. I don't know how we got on being sick. But anyways, generation below us, we must stay united. Please understand a lot of these struggles we have gone through, and find a real person to talk about that will just talk normal to you about their experiences, not experiences that they have learned elsewhere. Just find your person, and we're here to help, and I think we should all be doing a better job of helping the next generation below us understand that, what they're going through is something that we've all faced, and look at us now. We're thriving. No, we're not thriving. I think it's cool to tell my kids I'm flat broke. Like, dude, he asked me for a game there. I was like, I don't have $8. And I was just like normalized it for him. So I'm like, no, it's cool. Like, hard times create hard men, right? Well, to an extent, but yes. We're all in this together, man, and if I don't get anything else out of life other than trying to help people manage it, like, that's where my heart is. Where does that land in life? How does that create a living for me? I don't know, but I wrote on my calendar, this is my year for help. I don't know what it is. I don't know how to create income out of helping, but it's something I'm grateful I am getting the space to figure that out. I am being allowed to figure that out. As far as my significant other is really understanding where I'm at. I'm doing a pretty big shift in my life of what I always thought life was versus what a new life could look like with a different mindset. So yeah, it's just, and here we are, right? This is something I love to talk. I love to story tell. I love to make people laugh. Stand up is something if you guys saw the notes on my phone in my stand-up notes, I could have a special out by tomorrow. No, not tomorrow, but I could have an hour set. In my mind, if I could curate this the best way possible, stand-up something I've always wanted to do. And I don't know why I'm scared to do it. It's the fear of failure, not the fear of failure, because I know my shit's going to be funny. I remember reading maybe that's where it's at. It just came to me. I remember in elementary school, it was Flag Day, and I was selected we all had to write something about the flag and why we loved it. It was like a little brainwashing exercise they used to do. But I remember totally choking. I think I just wrote the lyrics to that. Yeah, I work for all my life. I think it was that, and I didn't know whether I was going to say it or sing it. And then last minute, I remember singing it, and I froze for the first time in my life. Like, I was a chaotic child that loved being loud and hyper, And I remember that was the first time I froze. And inside, I'm like, what's happening? What's happening? Reboot. What's happening? Like, what's this feeling? And there's a video of it I'm sure my mom was videoing, but I just remember, like, I don't know if I remember this or just remember from the video, but I just, like, reached up, started, like, pulling my hair, like, when I got nervous, I think. And I just, like, I remember throwing the papers back, like, just kind of flipping them behind me, like, with my hands up in the air. And then just, like, walking back off the microphone. I wish I could find that video. Because I know there's a video, because I remember, like, in the moment, I don't remember anyone. I don't remember seeing anyone looking out. All I remember is the feeling. It could have been a dark room for all I remember, but I remember watching the video and hearing the reaction to the crowd, like clapping, like there was support. Like even now, I'd be like, "Hell yeah, dude, that was good!" Like, that's interesting because I think that's where that comes from. Maybe that's why I'm scared to do an open mic. Probably has a lot to do with it. But then I also remember that night getting home. I don't remember anything afterwards. I don't remember any sort of interaction with anyone at all. I think I was still like in shock that someone like myself could be quiet. But I remember getting home, going to the answer machine. That was a big deal as a kid. Like you go home, at least in my house, and we'd walk up the little stairs, and you could see the machine blinking at the computer desk, whether we had them. And that was exciting to get a message. That was rad, man. Looking back, you had to rewind the tape, or maybe it rewound already. But then you hit play, and I remember I had a phone call from a teacher. She wasn't even my teacher. She was just a teacher at the school, I believe. Maybe she was my teacher. I don't remember. But a teacher at the school had called and left a voicemail saying how good I did. And, oh, wow, teary, emotional. She said how proud she was of me. And that really resonated. I remember in that moment I dropped that feeling that I had on the way home, like in the back of the van. Like I remember, that's interesting. I've never thought of it like that. But that message meant a lot to me. Like that was a big deal for me to hear that. That's interesting. See, like when you actually think, that's what I'm saying. When you have that feeling of anger, don't focus on what just made you angry. Focus on why did that make you angry in the first place? And just figure it out, because then things get a lot easier, because it actually makes sense then. So like now with this stand-up, I'm like, oh, that's what I need to conquer. I need to go back and conquer that, I don't know, 10-year-old boy that froze on stage. Now that I know, I need to tell him like, hey, it's all right, do it again. Okay, so that's cool. Wow, that's a live reaction. Okay, like that was something that I've just put together that now I'm super stoked about, because the problem makes sense to me. And the problem can be fixed now instead of just like, why is this a problem? So back to what I was originally getting at. Yeah, I'm just doing, it's kind of like it's not a facing the fear, because I podcast before, but it's just like getting myself used to just being myself. A lot of times with the stand-up, I think of like, oh, what character should I be? What should I be? And then I realize the reason Shane Gillis is so good is because he's Shane Gillis, and he's unapologetic for being Shane Gillis. The reason some of the better underground comedians are the best is because they're just themselves. We've been looking up to people like Joe Rogan that has absolutely no business being a comedian at all. Wonderful podcaster, wonderful storyteller in the past, but he's always had a gift to gab, and he could always have interesting conversations, not just about one thing. It was a broad spectrum, and like a lot of these comedians, like I'm still hanging on to Theo Vaughn. I think he's getting out of the mix, which is good. But those comedians are so good because they're themselves. They're not putting. I don't need to get on stage with a shtick. Like I can just storytell, and if I'm funny, I'm funny. If they like me, they like me. I don't need to audition to be someone I'm not. I need to just, hey, if you like me, it's just much like my relationship. If you like me, you like me. I'm not going to change anything for you. Like, so I don't know. That's where it's at. That's where my podcasting is at. That's kind of why I started this again, because I think there needs to be people out there that are just putting out normal freaking content. And I'm not trying to be anything I'm not. I'm here to share stories and hopefully help along the way somewhere, anywhere. So awesome. Shut up and listen. All right. See ya.